It'll come out of this quarterfinal number 4. Carissa Moore takes on Sage Erickson. It is a good morning from Portugal. Gigs Saliers alongside the 89 world champion of the sport, Martin Potter. And wow, it's starting to narrow the field down here, Potts.
Yeah, that we are, Gigs. I think on paper this is probably the heat to watch here in the quarterfinals. Let's have a look at the replay here from Carissa's opening wave. It's the mid-face check turn and then jams it up through the lip there. Just a nice 75% for Carissa. It's not going to be a big score, but she's on the board and she's going to start applying some pressure. But this is what she does, Gigs. She catches waves halfway out and then really makes her opponent pay.
Jumping on that inside wall here, Carissa Moore. Section approaches. Lovely responsiveness, cat-like response from Carissa Moore there.
Wow. So it starts off with you can see how confident she is. I mean, she's just hooking into these turns, snapping again, so 2 solid maneuvers already. Then watch this turn, bang, free fall drop straight in a layback hack. Throwing spray out of the back, and that is against the wind. So for that much water to be displaced out the back of the wave, this is sheer power from Carissa Moore. Beautiful turn here, setting it all up. Now she starts to get the speed going. Watch this float. Lands it straight into the next turn and jams it off the white water. Beautiful timing, beautiful positioning from Carissa Moore, and a 7.5 follows.
With the start as early as the potential of this weekend. Here we go. Sage Erickson will finally get underway in quarterfinal number 4 in Portugal. Out on the face. She's waited a long time for this. Just a small decimal prior to that. A couple of nice strong rail drives on that big open face.
Wow, that was a tough wave to ride.
I know, it didn't connect either, Potts.
Yeah.
And sees her finding her way more and more frequently into comfortable championship tour finishes. There goes your heat leader, 3-time world champion. Nice wrap for Carissa Moore, and as I say, that should just glitch. A little bump there. Difficult wave faces to work with here. Strong rip now, inside section. Little beach break warble to deal with. But she'll put it all together nice and smooth, and she'll package another score for the panel. That's only wave number 3, so she's working at a steady pace and being quite selective here in the lineup in Gynshu.
Yeah, well, Sage Erickson got herself out of that combo, Gigs, 3.27. Strength on the finish. She's looking so confident, Gigs. I mean, there's no pressure on her at the moment. Obviously not in that world title conversation just yet, but look at that wrapping turn. Connecting nicely. Difficult wave to ride. And again, just cutting back, waiting for it to stand up through the inside. Now she gouges into it, really leaning on that rail. And watch this little finish. Very important. Bang, up and over the top. So it looks like she's going to get herself back in position. Right there, just leaning on the rail, pushing those fins into the face of the wave. Showing that power, that confidence that she's carrying right now. And a good score. So it puts a lot more pressure back onto the shoulders of Sage Erickson, Gigs.
Well, a 5-5 now in on the scoreline for heat leader Carissa Moore.
And they'll use that replay. Here we go, Sage Erickson up and riding.
Sage turns her attention to the left here as we go under 8 minutes here in the final quarterfinal of the round. Sage here will look for a connection to the inside section. Lots of water movement here. Little chip, direction change. And she's going to prone out. And we already start hanging the question on, she's gone way down the beach, traveled a long distance there.
A couple of big scores, really. It's that 9.73. She's got to break that up into 2. Here we go.
Well, this is where the training program comes into it for all of our athletes. Meanwhile, Carissa Moore will continue to add pressure to the outcome of this quarterfinal. Strong, open grind to the wave face there. Carissa is in fine form here. She's already extracted a 7.5 in the lineup. She'll jam tightly into the top corner and looking now to replace a 5.5 Potts and really put the load on the back part of quarterfinal number 4 here. Let's have a look if she did find any major points here.
Well, Sage needs something strong, that's for sure. Nice snap, there we go. That's better from Sage Erickson. As she brings this one through the inside. It's going to be a mid-ranger, Gigs. Just one solid turn. Gets herself, well, chips away at that lead somewhat. And this is the last one of Carissa Moore, who looks like she's going to better her situation. So Carissa up and over the top of that white water, just laying the rail again. You can see that confidence as she just sweeps back into the power source again, just putting that board on the rail, carves and then milks it through the inside. And what she got for us through the inside, big snap to finish, 5.87, so it puts a bit more pressure back on the shoulders of Sage. So Carissa Moore is just answering back. Every time Sage chips away at the lead, Carissa adds a bit more on it.
Down to 2 minutes to go, and this could be the nail in the coffin here for Sage Erickson. Carissa's found another inside right-hander, two-stage cutback, little pocket check, and there's a big hack, and it's not going to join together, so an incomplete ride won't change anything in the scoreline nor the requirements for Sage Erickson. And Sage goes back to her backhand, and that one is an in and out. Fell to Lakey Peterson and Pauline Addo, and now here is her chance. She's got a big requirement ahead, and she'll go into the sequence here. This wave underfoot is starting to bend on her. Big end section hit though, and she will show her class by hanging on to that. But when we think about the requirements of an 8.77, we realize that Sage Erickson understands her own fate here.
Yep, I agree, Giggs. You know what though, good performance from her. Quarterfinal results, a keeper for Sage. Is going to maintain herself up into that top 5 situation. Good surfing from her through this event. Very impressed with how much this young lady has improved. She's putting herself in that contenders sort of situation. Bang! Nice solid turn to finish off that wave for Sage Erickson. So you know what, she's going to leave with a good taste in her mouth and move on to the next event. France is somewhere where she's had success in the past. Carissa Moore's looking absolutely dangerous though, Giggs.
For the first time in 2017, Carissa Moore has broken the quarterfinal barrier.